The Galactic Military Academy's infamous Hell Circuit had claimed more casualties than 3 border wars combined. Of the 847 species that comprised the Galactic Alliance, only 12 had ever produced a graduate. The survival rate hovered at a terrifying 3.2%. Commander Zexai of the Alterian High Command watched through the observation deck as the latest batch of recruits was herded into the staging area. His 4 eyes tracked each alien form with practiced assessment. The hulking Krogan berserkers, the ethereal veil dancers with their phase-shifting abilities, the cybernetically enhanced Nexus warriors, all elite specimens from their respective worlds. And then there was the human. Marcus Chen stood barely 6 feet tall, unremarkable by galactic standards. No natural armor plating, no redundant organ systems, no enhanced musculature. He carried standard-issue gear and wore the same expression Zexai had seen on 1,000 other doomed recruits. Calm acceptance mixed with underlying determination. Instructor, Zexai's aide, Sub-Commander Thylix, approached with the human's file. This one's records are unusual. How so? He volunteered. Zexai's mandibles clicked in surprise. The Hell Circuit wasn't something beings volunteered for. It was a punishment detail, a last chance for washouts or a proving ground for the desperately ambitious. Background? Human military, special forces. Multiple deployments in what they call hostile environments. Desert warfare, Arctic survival, jungle operations, mountain climbing, underwater demolitions. Thylix paused. His psychological evaluation notes an unusual trait. He finds extreme physical challenges relaxing. The first phase began at dawn on Kepler 442b, a world where the surface temperature never rose above 40 degrees Celsius, and the atmosphere contained just enough oxygen to keep most species conscious while they slowly suffocated. Recruits were given minimal thermal gear and tasked with traversing 50 kilometers of ice fields while carrying 80-kilogram packs. Within the first hour, 2 Nexus warriors collapsed from hypothermia despite their cybernetic heating systems. The veil dancers, adapted for temperate environments, began showing signs of crystallization in their semi-corporeal forms. Marcus Chen was whistling. Zexai leaned forward in the observation room. Is his thermal gear malfunctioning? The technician checked his readings. No, sir. Core temperature is elevated, but within human normal parameters. Heart rate is remarkably low. On screen, Marcus had stopped to help a struggling Krogan whose thick hide was proving inadequate against the cold. The human shared his ration pack and showed the alien how to pack snow around his extremities for insulation. Impossible, Thylix muttered. This is supposed to be an individual challenge, but Marcus wasn't treating it as a challenge at all. He moved with the easy rhythm of someone on a leisurely hike, breathing steadily, occasionally stopping to appreciate the aurora dancing across the alien sky. When he reached the checkpoint, he seemed genuinely disappointed that the scenic walk was over. Phase 2 transported the remaining recruits to Tartarus VII, a volcanic world where the ground temperature could melt most metals. The task was simple: retrieve a beacon from the center of an active lava field. Most species would need powered exoskeletons just to survive the radiant heat. Marcus stripped down to basic clothing and walked in. He's lost his mind, Zexai declared, watching the human's heat signature move steadily toward the beacon. The surface temperature is over 200 degrees Celsius. But Marcus wasn't dying. If anything, he seemed more comfortable than he had in the ice fields. His movement was loose, unhurried. When a geyser of molten rock erupted near him, he simply stepped aside with the practiced ease of someone who'd spent years in similar conditions. Sir, the technician reported, voice tight with disbelief. He's actually slowing down. His bio readings suggest he's enjoying this. The human had indeed paused to watch a particularly spectacular eruption, his expression one of genuine appreciation for the display of natural forces. When he finally retrieved the beacon, he took a moment to warm his hands over a lava flow before beginning the return journey. Phase 3 was psychological warfare, 72 hours in isolation chambers designed to break the mind through sensory deprivation, disorienting illusions, and exposure to each species' deepest fears. The chambers were calibrated based on extensive psychological profiles. Marcus emerged after the first day asking if he could stay longer. The quiet is nice, he explained to the bewildered staff. Reminds me of fishing back home. Very peaceful. The illusions meant to terrify him, Falling from great heights, being buried alive, confronting monstrous creatures, he treated like an entertaining movie. When the system projected his deepest fear, derived from human psychological databases, Marcus burst into laughter. Spiders, really? That's adorable. He spent the next few hours trying to pet the illusory arachnids. By Phase 4, word had spread throughout the academy. Instructors abandoned their post to watch the human tackle the final challenge. A zero-gravity maze filled with automated defenses designed to test combat skills under the most disorienting conditions possible. Most species struggled with the three-dimensional thinking required. Marcus moved through the maze like he'd been born in zero-G, using debris as springboards, ricocheting off walls with casual precision. When the defense systems activated, he didn't fight them. He played with them, turning the exercise into an elaborate game of three-dimensional tag. "This is like the obstacle courses we built as kids," he radioed to the observation deck, "but with better special effects." When Marcus Chen became the 13th species to graduate from the Hell Circuit, HFY was waiting at the exit. "Recruit Chen," the commander began, then paused. "How?" Marcus shrugged, shouldering his pack with the same easy motion he'd used to start this whole ordeal. "My grandfather used to say that hell is just a place that hasn't met the right human yet." He grinned. "Besides, this was way more fun than my last vacation in Florida. At least here the weather was consistent." As HFY watched the human walk away, already asking about the next training program, he made a note in his personal log. Recommendation: immediately classify human homeworld as Class Doidine Death World. Secondary recommendation: never, under any circumstances, invade it. After all, if this was what humans considered a relaxing vacation, HFY didn't want to know what they were like when they were actually trying.